clear items, like big keys, small keys, items. We need to kill every boss in the game. So you'll find stuff like keys to Gen's Tower really early on, and you're like, wow, I'm not going to use this for another hour and a half or so. What the heck, game? Give me something more useful.
It's okay. The vast majority of these races end up being a hunt for the second Castle Tower key, which is not fun. Like, I swear, in an all dungeons key sanity, you'd almost rather it be an Agassi just so you know you don't have to hunt that dumb small key down.
Notably over on Fred Coughlin's side, he is setting up what is called the hula-hang glitch, where you basically unlock the camera in a certain way by hopping off that ledge over and over, and you get to the secret room with 225 rupees. So nice early money farm.
And that's a good idea. I like that play in an early key sanity seed like this, because with all the dungeon items being amongst the regular item pool, it's far less likely that you're going to get early rupees. So whereas in a regular seed, Kakariko is bound to have a good 150, we'll say on average, and that's even if you don't run across a super high amount. In Key Sanity, you might walk out with not even enough to pay the bottle vendor.
Yeah, I'm a fan of getting money early for these kinds of seeds, so I 100% approve of Fred Coughlin's strategy here. Also to mention, we got the Fire Rod off the Uncle on Freddeh's side.
So Freddeh has the Freddeh, got it.
Yes. I hope that was, clear enough for you to tell.
I'm sorry, I'm going to be making stupid jokes like this all day. I'm the only Fred that I know other than these guys, so I got to do it.
Yeah, but the Fire Rod is notable for, more than just, being the Fire Rod. It's actually a fire source, so we can light torches. Some dark rooms are actually considered in logic due to where torch placements are. And it's a good weapon in general. It one-shots most enemies, required to kill certain bosses.
Yeah, that's a really good point. One of those dark rooms that is actually going to be in logic for us is the Dark Cross sitting here in Escape. So it'll be interesting to see if Freddeh has enough magic to do it, which I don't suspect that he will after these shots, unless the guards are in the magic pack, then he might. It'll be interesting to see if he chooses to go back and grab that one chest.
Yes, you mentioned that it actually does not really require anything to get to Dark Cross. It sure is nice to be able to see around the dark or shoot fire rod shots to light torches, but you can actually just navigate through the dark rooms if you know them well enough. And he's definitely going to be going for Dark Cross after this. I think he'll take a Death Warp here down in Zelda Cell, and he'll make his way to Dark Cross. Over on Race Game, we saw on Fred Coughlin's side there was a Turok small key, so that is one of at least 3 small keys we need to beat that dungeon.
Yep, and it does look like he is going to go ahead and do that. The only reason that I wasn't sure if he was going to do Dark Cross is not because of the Dark Room, but because he doesn't actually have anything on hand. It can be a little more difficult going through those Dark Rooms with literally nothing.
Yeah, you mentioned that. He's actually out of magic, so he cannot help himself with magic at all.
He does have 2 bombs that he can use to kind of help place, to put a spot on the screen to kind of know where he is based upon those bombs. But that's all, and you really don't want to be using these bombs if you can help it. So, wow, nice flute from Bottle Vendor.
Yeah, that's a nice early find. Just having it sit right next to where you activated, you can't get any more convenient than that. So Freddie's still navigating through the first room with all the rats running around. Oh, he went for the magic pot down the bottom left. Okay, I see. That's a decent strategy.
Huh, I didn't even know there was a magic pot there. Interesting.
Yeah, it's like 2 branching paths. The right is to go to Dark Cross, and the left there's a little magic pot in the bottom left. Wow, he had a really nice rope room there. That was very good RNG.
Wow, that was insane. And there's that bomb placement I was kind of suspecting. Nice 100 rupees, won't say no to that. And the snake dropping a bomb. So yeah, definitely got his bomb back there too.
But it was just 100 rupees, so nothing too important. But, I mean, he won't say no to free money early on, because money is pretty important early on. We did see a book out of the well in Kakariko, so that is... it's not always required, but you'd like to have it, if you're next to a check that requires the book, or if you want to go to Desert Palace, not have to wait for the mitts in the mirror. It's just nice to have early.
Well, speaking of that book, how about a big key to Desert Palace to go with it?
Maybe the seed wants us to go to Desert early. I don't know about you.
I don't know, I'm just waiting on that small key now.
So we got a map to Ice Palace back there. Maps are actually not super useful in all dungeons key sanity. In any other mode that's not all dungeons, maps are useful in like key sanity modes. You typically won't see a map check unless maybe you're wondering whether you can beat all the crystal dungeons before GT, and you're trying to figure out what the pendant dungeons are in case you need to worry about going straight to GT early or what. But for the most part, you won't see map checks.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is the one thing that maps will help you out with in all dungeons key sanity, and that's just key logic. If you're looking for that last Turtle Rock key, if Turtle Rock is a pendant, then that Turtle Rock key could be sitting in Ganon's Tower. If not, then you don't have to worry about it. So, but yeah, it's not going to come into play for a very long time, honestly. Freddeh gonna go ahead and grab half of the Desert Palace special here. Meanwhile, Mr. Coughlin is going to be fluting away to the dam.
Yep, nice 2 quick and easy checks here. Just a flute to number 7, and you get 2 free checks right here that require nothing at all to get.
Yeah, probably really hoping to find some sort of weapon here to make Mini Moldorm Cave easier. Obviously, this can be done relatively simply with bombs, but it's nice to have something like a sword or a bow or a hookshot, anything to murder those Moldorms and not have to worry about it. And instead, we get our first key to Aga Tower.
Pretty early to see one of those show up.
Yep, one thing to note though, the Fire Rod does not put Aga Tower into logic, so we'll still be looking for that lamp for it to be technically in logic.
I was just thinking, why can't we just like use the keys that we found along the way to just like poke things with it? That should work, right? I mean, you think.
In theory, but you'd have really, really short reach, and hitbox are kind of janky in this game anyways.
Well, it's about as long as that fighter sword that Fred Coughlin just picked up, right?
Probably, yeah. Speaking of, very nice fighter sword to find. Although he's not terribly, I'm not sure if that was an intentional bomb drop or unintentional, but it was funny either way.
All right, well, he is looking to go ahead and see what that bottle gives us, since that lets you check the sick kit item here.
At this rate, I think Fred's going to need a couple more bombs. If you're just going to drop one at every item location that you dislike, you're going to need a lot of them.
All right, well, he is heading towards the castle, so he will be getting that fire rod shortly. He's actually going to head over to the drop down. Usually you do this if you have the boots and a sword, because it causes a lot less lag coming this direction. This doesn't exactly save time going this way without boots. And usually you go towards the tree anyway to get check the tree pole. It's not a huge difference either way, but he is getting that fire rod. I'm actually kind of questioning why he's dropping all his bombs like this, because he's almost out of bombs. And I feel like he's just inconveniencing himself more.
I mean, if we're going to be perfectly honest here, he is part of the bomb squad. Also keep in mind, he did do a relatively early Houlihan, as Freddeh probably wanted to dodge that duck, but didn't react in time. You just saw like a split second of him like turning and running away from the duck before it grabbed him, like, oh, wait, crap, oh well. So I'm sure he's going to make a note of that and then maybe come back later.
Yeah, definitely was not intentional to try and flute away there. You wanted that small key. You want all the information, knowledge, items you can get early on. If you're just gonna leave it behind like that, you're like, oops, sorry.
I don't blame him though. That spot is so infrequently useful that I can definitely see the whole like, I'm just gonna kind of make a show of checking this, but we both know it's nothing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hit the flute and oh, dang it.
Freddeh successfully gets through mini bomb dormant cave.
Yep, and for it, we get our bomb sword 2-map 20 rupee pack. All right, and Freddeh choosing to leave behind Ice Rod Cave. Well,
Hey, I think that book was required.
That is such a dumb spot for that glove. Come on! I was just gonna make a comment of, there might be something in Ice Rod Cave that could help out Desert, but no, there's a glove sitting right there.
Yeah, so that means the book is 100% required to seed because there's no other way to get up there without the book. Nice damage boost. I like seeing that.
It will be interesting to see if Fred ends up clearing this dungeon. You can technically clear it. It's not within logic to do so because we don't have the small key, but you can clear it without one, especially with that glove sitting on the ledge just saying hello.
Oh yeah, so compasses. They're also pretty much useless, except the only real use they have is letting you see how many items you've found in the dungeon. Outside of that, they are completely useless to completing the seed. Just so happens that the compass was just kind of sitting in desert itself. So immediate, oh my, what in the world? What?
What's wrong? Did you get derailed? Oh, it was hilarious. I love this game. This game is so much fun.
Can I just quit now? Was this where I leave? Like,
I mean, that's fine. Then it would just be 3 Freds around here, so I'd be okay with that if you really wanted to. But I don't prefer to do comp solo. I wouldn't blame you though. Okay. Wait, I thought we said the gloves were on the ledge. What happened?
I'm at a loss for words right now. Anyways, so compasses, they're useless, but they let you keep track of your dungeon item counts. There, I said it, okay? Ugh.
If this seed is teaching us anything, it's make your statements concise. We may choose to interrupt them at random intervals.
So yeah, that book was required for both gloves.
Now we're just gonna have a flute on the right-hand side or over on Landmo, and then I'm just gonna laugh harder.
Well, we already did a flute. I'm guessing you meant mirror when you said that.
Yes, I did. I thought mirror and said flute because I just saw like Fred moving towards it, and I was just like, no, that's not where we're going. Anyways, it'll be interesting to see if fcoughlin chooses to complete this dungeon. Fred did not. He jumped in here, grabbed his glove, grabbed his mitts, and just decided that, well, that's enough. But you can technically clear this dungeon right now.
That's true. I'm actually a bit surprised myself he didn't decide to go ahead and beat Landmo. Because it is all dungeons, and so you do need to beat the boss anyway, so if the sooner you can beat bosses and not have to come back later, I think that's probably a better call.
That's fair. I also can't give him too much of a hard time since, I mean, it's not like anyone really saw that double glove coming at all. And the fact that it stumped you for a minute, there's a decent chance that Freddeh's sitting here going, I really should have cleared Landmo. It's also possible that he decided not to because, outside of, 2 fire rod shots, it's fighter sword, and that's not fun.
There's the pod big key, a pod small key, and 300 more rupees. Goodness.
Yeah, so we make a comment early on about no rupees in Key Sanity, and this seed's like, hold on, hold my rupee hordes.
Yeah, well, it's not like I knew those rupees were coming or anything. The sea is also giving Fred lots of bombs for him to drop, so I guess that's another good thing.
That is fair. The seed does seem to be relatively friendly in that regard. Like, oh, you want to drop these? Hold on, let me give you some more.
Okay, so Fred Coughlin deciding to go and kill Lanmo. He will have 4 fire rod shots, it looks like, at his disposal. The rest he'll have to do with Fighter Sword.
Or bombs. Bombs are fun.
Now, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if he just dropped some bombs. And honestly, they could do a better job, but he only has 1 Lanmo to deal with, so it's kind of not worth doing. But he's going to do it anyway. Make a liar out of me.
A little bit late on that first bomb drop. He'll get to try it again, I'm sure. Nope, maybe not. Really nice, clean cycle there, though. That's 3 slashes and a spin.
Oh, man, he short hopped him there. He juked him.
And yeah, Freddeh coming back for that key. In this case, it would be really, really funny if it were the desert key. I mean, we know it's not. We know it's a TR key since Fred Coughlin did pick it up. But Freddeh does not know that.
So, Lanmo dropped the green pendant there. Okay. That actually was probably the worst reward it could have been for Freddeh. Because now Fred can just go to Salah's Closet and full clear it. Turn that green pendant in, check the 3 checks in the closet.
And maybe with that big key, head into Eastern. It's not clearable yet, but it's still a good 5 items, so.
Man, Fred's on a murderous streak here. He threw a bomb at Agina.
I mean, it's not like anyone was going to miss the guy.
Yeah, I guess it being a lonely old hermit, you kind of don't know anyone else aside from anyone who decides to come visit you.
Also, have you talked to him? He spouts some story about farting being so bad that he chased all the jazz hands out of the cave. Like, I can't imagine he was a terribly fun guy to be around.
Yeah, Freddeh getting his Eastern Big off of the old man save. That is actually not in logic yet. We do need the lamp to put that into logic, but the runners don't care. They need it anyway, so they're glad to see it.
Yep, and we're going to get a grand total of 1.5 checks up here. We're going to be able to see the check up on top and then go take a look at the check within the cave. Just a map on top, and Freddeh has decided that he just might as well go grab whatever's in there.
I think I guess I get this play. I mean, at this point, you're really low on checks. Not even gonna fill up his bomb count. Questionable. Nah, just kidding. It's not that important.
I mean, he's not dropping them like fcoughlin is, so speaking of which, there's more bombs for the green pendant. So that play not being a big deal. Obviously, it's not within logic anyways, but...
Okay, so at this point, I don't think we've seen Zora or these 4 checks in Eastern. 5 checks, I should say. There's only 3 logical ones. The other 2 are not in logic.
Yeah, that's a good point. So the front 3 checks of Eastern, technically, although we're going to see all 5 of them, I'm sure, other than the boss, unless we get a bow in here, in which case we'll see the whole thing. And that's just about how this seed's going. We also have Zora. That is, in fact, an option. And
I mean, it's looking at this point like we're going to get Moon Pearl with those in early myths, right? I mean, that's what it looks like to me.
That would make sense. We could also get something silly like the hook shot.
Honestly, that would not be so bad, because If we get the hook shot, it'll push us over to East Death Mountain, and we'll probably get the Moon Pearl there, and we can just do Dark Death Mountain while we're over there.
That's fair. It would be relatively convenient. We could also get a sword or a cape here and have the first check in Agate Tower be a thing. Because you don't need the lamp for that.
Okay, so it is, I believe, down to this next check in Zora for the logical progression this seed has been hiding from us. And they're both heading right towards it, so I mean, they're hot in each other's heels. I'll probably give the lead slightly to Fred Coughlin here, since he's already beaten Landmo, already turned that green pendant in. It is required to beat Landmo, as all dungeons. All right, well, what's here? What's here? What's here? Come on, show us, game.
That's not helpful. It's a wonderful thing to grab, but that does not give us a single check right now.
I would not say no, though, because early hammer is, you know, you can never say no to that, because that just makes your entire routing that much easier. But that does, in fact, mean that Zora does have our progression here.
So does Zora have a cape? Let's just keep stringing it along. I'm having fun here. You know, the thing about all dungeons key sanity is that frequently towards the end, you can get this sort of just race route where it's this unlocks one location and this one unlocks two, and then you go get this and it unlocks two locations, and you really just need like one or two small keys to finish it. But instead, we're doing this early on, where, okay, here's a hammer. Does it help? No, it doesn't. Go do Zora. That's a very interesting pickup. It does not help us at the moment. It will help us once we get a wonderful, wonderful Moon Pearl, though. That would unlock the Spike Cave for us.
Fred Coughlin opting to do a Death Warp out of Eastern. I don't think that's faster, but I get what he's trying to do there. So, Freddeh heading straight for Zora, not wasting any time. He cannot check the waterfall here because he does not have the Moon Pearl or the boots. Or the flippers, for that matter.
It looks like F. Coughlin's about to get his wonderful Big 20 out of the Ice Rod Cave. Speaking of Big 20s, we don't have to worry about the ledge.
That's a good relief. I mean, you don't have to come back for one stupid item that's just sitting on a ledge. Especially
if it's a questionable one, like if that item is a big key or a small key, you're like, oh, because like there's a decent chance you won't even need it.
Considering we already have 3 required big keys in our possession, that kind of lowers the chance of it being required big key, you know, kind of thing. All right, but what's Zora got? Come on, show me.
Okay, give it to me. Oh, that's even funnier.
Hey, we won't say no to that. We will be very glad to see those.
All right, so speaking of unlocking 1 to 2 checks at a time, let's go check King's Tomb and Bomb Crocs. And that's it.
I don't think the library had anything, if I remember correctly. Nice bomb underneath the bush.
I'm just glad he was able to dodge it with the dash there. Those are terrible.
Yeah, if you dash over a bush, you'll dodge the mine.
Vanilla Cape! There's the hook shot. Okay.
Well, we got the hook shot eventually.
And it looked like Hera was a 5-6?
Yes, it was. It was
awesome.
The 5 crystal. Alright, so with that hook shot, we can now do some East Death Mountain checks, but Freddie's obviously going to finish up his boots checks here because he's right next to it. May as well.
Alright, so it's not even a matter of decision. Death Mountain, here we come. Alright, so this hookshot unlocks a grand total of 8 checks. We'll get to take a look at one more here. And then assuming we can get our hands on something silly like, I don't know, the Moon Pearl. Actually, with the hammer, that unlocks Hera too. Technically out of logic, but that's not going to stop anybody.
Oh. Yeah, Freddie tried to stop that dead rock from bothering him, but he shot himself in the foot there and put it right in front of the doorway.
I think he shot the dead rock in the foot.
You know, semantics, I'm not in the mood to discuss them. Just kidding.
No, I feel you. I mean, it's all dungeon keys. All we have is semantics.
Yeah.
Speaking of semantics, I don't believe fcoughlin throws some Tom and Sawyer. I'm sorry. I'm going to be laughing at that the whole time. Anyways, which I'm sure is the goal. The hammer, I don't believe is... Oh, no, because the hammer was the compass chest in Eastern, right?
Yeah, it's available. It's freely available.
Well, speaking of the hammer, now bats in logic.
And a small key to Turtle Rock. So that's 2 Turtle Rock small keys. But Freddie is going to do this bomb jump here in Paradox Cave to... I figured he was a little too high there.
Yeah, I don't know why he corrected himself back up. It looked like he had the lineup correctly there.
He may not have been right at the edge, but he definitely was not set up correctly after he went up. So, but he is not going to waste any more bombs or possibly any more time. He's just going to take the long way out.
So I assume we're going to get a dip of Hera, and then he'll come back and do Spiral Cave, so as to not have to do a third climb. Nice full heart there. Not required, but kind of annoying to have over there and out of reach. fcoughlin checking Lumberjack Ledge. Not a bad idea with these boots.
Oh, it's a small key.
Speaking of ambiguous.
Well, we know it won't be the Castle Tower small key.
That is fair.
With that hook speed that Freddie just had, it made him get a hard time trying to read that tablet with the book. It's not useless. It's not useful though, so we won't be seeing that again.
Is that speed reading?
Yes, exactly.
Cool.
All right, so into here we go. We got another small key. What small key is this?
That's a small key to this dungeon. No,
it would be colored differently if it was.
Oh, I didn't know there were different colors to them.
If it's darker shade of yellow, whatever, gold, whatever, that's the vanilla small key to the dungeon. It's like stuff for like Desert and Hera, those keys out in the open. But that's our 3rd Turtle Rock small key, and that's our 1st Skullwood small key. With this hook shot in boots, we're going to see Freddie attempt Herapot here to get to the top of the dungeon faster and actually skip the big key. This will make him skip the big chest, but that is... Because it's a loud glitch, it just basically skips the Hera big key in attempt to beat the Tower of Hera dungeon.
Yep, it'll be interesting to see how this one works out, though, because as we get another small key to pod, there are 6 of them in the game. It'll be interesting to see how this changes things, because that's going to mean there are 2 orphaned checks in Hera, and I have no doubt that fcoghlin's going to do the exact same thing here. So it's not like, Freddie's going to have 1 more orphaned location, but if there is progression here in Hera, it could take a long while for our runners to get back to it.
Very quick and easy fight there on Freddie's side. Moldorm is notorious for knocking you off the side when you least expect it. So the hammer, 3 quick hits with some good positioning will knock him dead easily. That is a red crystal for Freddie and his first crystal of the game. So at this point, it's between Magic Bat and Spiral Cave, I believe now.
Yep, this game definitely not giving us anything more than bite-sized chunks.
Sometimes that's what you need for a good hearty dinner. Just some bite-sized chunks.
How about a mirror here to unlock Spiral Cave, or Checkerboard Cave? Sorry.
I mean, it's going to be either here or Magic Bat, but we'll find out here in a few seconds. It's a Quake Medallion. Okay. So that definitely means that Magic Bat has that piece of progression we're needing. We could need that Quake Medallion. I mean, we won't say no to having it now. Freddie? You're supposed to dash down there, not right.
Or alternatively, you could just go a little farther down before you dash right, and you avoid the person who calls you a creeper. Alright, so do you think we're finally going to get our Moon Pearl here?
Maybe. Fred Coughlin also doing the hair pot, gets it done successfully, going to go beat Moldorm. But yeah, this is our next piece of progression, which is the Moon Pearl. Okay. Finally, Dark World access.
Alright, so, forget about bite-sized chunks. Now we have a whole bunch of stuff to check.
It's seeds like this that always, make you sweat, because it's like, which way do I go? What's the right way to go? I have so much open to me. I have so many options. Where do I go?
And after about 20 minutes of the seed feeling nearly claustrophobic with go check this, now go check that, now go check that, it can be a very overwhelming feeling.
But with that fire rod, Freddie is going to prioritize beating Skull Woods here. He's going to clear most of it, I think, in the process, but he's going to start from the back, get this small key to go further to the back to get to Smothula, and then once he comes back, he'll do the front as well. He's probably hoping that maybe the big key to Skull Woods will show up first before he goes to the front.
And just want to go ahead and throw this one out here. With 5 hearts and green mail, this is not going to be an easy fight, and it's not going to be a fun fight.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is, one of the worst loadouts. I mean, we have the hammer, so it'll make offense a bit easier. Hammer's a bit unwieldy to deal with Mothula, though. Hey, but we get a free heart, though, so that makes it a little easier, right?
Not really, because Moth does 2 hearts a pop, so it's going to be 3 hits and you're dead, regardless of 5 or 6 hearts, unfortunately.
I mean, the spikes are only to deal with 2, but they only do 1 heart, so...
That is fair. Speaking of 2 hearts, Gibdos do that, too.
Hey, actually, that's not so bad for Freddeh, because he might opt to check the chest below the bridge here, upcoming, and that will just set him up for an easy death warp as soon as he checks it.
That's a good point.
And then there's the Moon Pearl for Fred Coughlin. He now has Dark World access, and he has a lot of places to go. I would have laughed if that filled his hearts up.
I was thinking the exact same thing. It still wouldn't have been too bad. That would have only taken 4 hits to take him out with these Gibdos, but it would have been pretty interesting to see him go from 2.5 to 7.
Either way, Freddeh is on his way to deal with the Moth on 6 hearts, Fighter's Sword. I mean, you got the hammer. No half magic. I don't believe he has any safeties. No mail. Is that the big key to Turtle Rock and chess game on Fred Coughlin's side?
Yes, so I think we're up to 3 smalls and a big at this point.
Yeah. Now, next we're just looking for that Cane Samari, and we actually might be able to do a bunch in Turtle Rock.
Alright, so with that mini Moldorm taking the first shot that was intended for the key Gibdo there, Freddeh is walking into this fight with 2 fire rods.
I do believe that was the Tower of Hera small key on the Fred Coughlin's side in the first chest at Thieves Town.
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Hey, there's the flippers too. Those are kind of important. Ooh, takes a clock off of Mothula there. Oh, he's 1 hit from death. This is not looking good. He does have a potion though, so that's good.
I think that spike hit to bring him down to 2 hearts may have been intentional. It looked like it was either take a spike to the face or take a moth to the face, and as you said before, the spikes do half the damage.
Freddeh having a difficult time here dealing with Moth. He's not exactly set up good for hammer hits, but he does take him down. Wow, really close fight there.
Well, at least it was a crystal.
And forgive me, but Fred forgot he doesn't have the big key. I did miss what the other 2 checks in Thieves Town were. We got the Harris Mall and the Flippers, but were anything else in those 2 checks?
Not that I saw, but I was kind of busy staring at Freddeh and hoping that he didn't die. So I was admittedly distracted. And we may have had a mismark on fcoughlin side, as there was like a quick double check of the menu there, kind of implying, wait, if I didn't have the big key for Thieves Town, what did I get then? You know, he may have seen that big key for Turtle Rock and read it as big key of Thieves Town.
The dudes both start with T. Okay, so apparently the lamp was also in the front. Oh my goodness, we have both castle tower keys early? What is the seed? Ugh, I dream about these seeds, dude.
This seed is an attempt to make everything that we say wrong, is what this seed is.
So now at this point, you might be thinking about that small key on the lumberjack, since now you just need another sword or the cape to go get it.
Which is really weird that that's what your AGA requirement is in Key Sanity, because generally you have all the items needed, and instead you're just looking for a key, but Fred Coughlin trying to be cute there with a high, but it didn't end up working out. Had to do 3 extra digs for that small shield.
I appreciate the kind gesture by Fred Coughlin.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And there's that small to castle tower.
Yep. Unbelievably early, and Freddy's thinking to himself, oh, I love this seed already.
So, I thought that this was like a well-practiced and preached thing, that you always check the 3 locations in the Village of Outcasts before you go into Thieves Town, especially in Key Sanity. But neither of our runners did that. They both left some stuff behind.
I guess maybe it's just them thinking, hey, I probably won't get the Thieves Big here in these other checks, so I'm just gonna route efficiently and not have to, like, retrace my steps towards the dungeon. We got the Key Samaria there in the Hype Cave, as well as the big key to Hera, and a small key to Swamp. Ooh, good stuff in there.
Yeah, that cave was pretty hype, I'm not gonna lie. So we have a bunch of Turtle Rock we could do, which isn't a great thing. But speaking of not great things, we also do have the 2 checks in Hera. We could do those.
Yeah, let's just stop everything we're doing right now and go up to Hera, right?
Exactly. I mean, you've got a bunch of stuff in Turtle Rock too, so that's totally worth.
This is the Grand World Tour for the Smith here. Fred is taking him all the way around the world, going to Pyramid here in a second, and then probably going to end up at Catfish when he's done.
And with 6 hearts, he is not going to say no to that blue mail. Thank you very much.
He'll probably have an easier time on Mothula once he gets around to it.
That's a good point.
He could just be holding out for that Skull Big, since that only opens up the big chest in Skullwoods.
That's fair. That one's not nearly as bad to get back to as some other big chests. Cough, cough, Swamp, or Hera, but
Ice.
Ice is terrible to get back to. That's a good, yeah. That is very true.
I just gotta quickly shout out both these players here. They both skipped that shield pickup on the big game. I am so proud of them. I am just, I might just cry. I just might break down and cry.
I mean, not only do you not need that shield, but leaving that shield behind also means that you will never get the mirror shield, which is really just a lag monster anyways.
Yes, and that is that is the big reason why people will skip a shield if they see it out in the open, because that means they won't get mirror shield and lag the game like crazy, like you said. I'm a huge proponent of not getting shields. So that was a Pendant Thieves and Ice, I believe.
Yeah, I think those were both pendants, which means we know our entire pendant layout.
Yeah. That's relatively early for 80 key seed. And here I was saying we won't get map checks, and we already know our full crystal information basically. We actually could have gotten, you know, our full crystal information had either the runners gone into the big bomb shop and talked to the bomb owner. We do know one of the red crystals being Hera, but we can figure out the other by talking to the owner.
Yeah, that's a wonderful piece of information that we get here. That is especially useful in Key Sanity, because during any other mode, it's not really worth your time.
I did miss what the Smith gave us for our troubles. Did you happen to catch that?
Like $20.
Okay, that sounds right, I believe. Did Fred not go to Catfish for Coughlin?
Fred Coughlin did.
He did.
Turtle Rock is the other 5/6, just FYI.
Okay.
Catfish was a 5 rupee, I believe.
I'm a little confused as to why Fred Coughlin's not going into Hera to finish up those checks since he's up here. Because now he can't go do them. I mean,
yeah.
he'll be really lucky if he finds a mirror in these checks, but I probably would have gone over there, you know, before going into Dark World over here.
Yeah, that's a really... I wonder if that was intentional or not. He may be just thinking about that mirror logic that you just pointed out right there.
Well, it's not mirror logic, it's just the idea that, you know, efficiency would say that you probably should do the things in Light World before the Dark World if you have no mirror. I mean, Fred Coughlin could just make a huge, you know, fool out of me and just find the mirror in one of these checks, and I'll be here shaking my head.
Right. That's the way this seed's gone. It's kind of like, oh, you shouldn't do this? Yeah, hold on, let me prove you wrong.
Yeah. We got ourselves a Bombos medallion there in Hookshot Cave in the first chest. That is 2 of our 3 medallions. We might need that Bombos, we might not. We have not checked out the Meyer entry requirement. There's another pod key sitting there in the Super Bunny Cave. And now Fred is heading back out and presumably heading over to do some Turtle Rock checks here, since we can basically do this entire dungeon minus the boss right now.
Yeah, but I don't know that he's going to want to do that. F. Coughlin might instead choose to skip the lava chest and just do everything else. Because you don't know where that 4th key is going to be, and it could be somewhere really, really silly.
Yes, that is a good point.
Hey, Master Sword!
You won't say no to a sword pickup, especially when you're at fighter.
And in Turtle Rock.
Alright, so we did not see purple chest on Fred Coughlin's side, I believe, so this is a new check for us. Just a Meyer Small.
You know, I saw that small key and I immediately thought Turtle Rock.
Oh, I did too. Let's be real. You are not alone in that, my friend.
Alright, so speaking of information, let's go see what Meyer is. Of course it's Bombos.
Go up the mountain, please. Come back when you've come up the mountain, friend. Well. Alright. That's 3 available swords right there. Sword and a green potion there sitting in Meyer's shed. That jelly was very rude to Fred just now. If he could drop a bomb on it, he definitely would, but he's got places to be.
Yeah, he'll just drop a bomb on the next thing that annoys him.
Okay, so Freddie is heading into Ice Palace. No, he's not. He's doing the waterfall and then maybe doing Ice Palace.
Whew! Fred Coughlin just petting a chain chomp there.
No big deal, right?
I don't know, it shaved a couple of minutes off of my life.
Looks like a free red potion refill from that waterfall fairy. That actually could come in handy for this ice palace if things go awry for Freddeh.
Yeah, that's a good point. With the Master Sword, if he can hold on to his health, you'll always have that secondary option, which is honestly my favorite way to break the shell of Cold Stare, and that is the sword beam method.
Yeah, that's a good magic saver, and that just lets you go ham on Cold Stare with the fire rod shots you have left over.
Yep, so for those of you who are unfamiliar with it, if you have full health and a wonderful sword that isn't made out of plastic, i.e. fighter sword, you can actually shoot a fire rod shot at Cold Stare, and while the fire rod is doing its splash damage, you can fire a sword beam at it, and the sword beam will do fire rod damage. So you can actually break the shell with only 4 fire rod shots. Hello, bow in Turtle Rock. Because of course it's there.
I'd have to say Fred Coughlin probably sniffed that one out. I mean, we were getting all these Turtle Rock keys, the fire rod, the cane, the big key, the medallion for Turtle Rock, the hammer, the mitts, the moon pearl. I mean, there probably was going to be something in Turtle Rock, and it just happened to be the bow. So nice
yeah,
find there for Fred.
This was definitely everything outside of a glowing, flashing arrow saying, "Go over there." Now we just have to hope there's nothing important sitting in Mimic Cave or in the lava chest.
I'm waiting for one of these small keys to say Turtle Rock and just be like, "Hey, Fred, you should have come here first."
Yeah, but honestly, even if it does, as we do come across the big key of Thieves Town, this is still a really good play. Like, this is a lot of checks, and Turtle Rock generally has stuff anyways, so it's a good idea to come here and just knock this stuff out, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with coming here this early. It just seemed like there had to have been something here. But that is all she wrote for Turtle Rock. We just got a bow out of there and a sword. Can't complain too much about that. I imagine that Eastern is on Fred's mind now.
Yeah, Eastern, and with 3 keys, Pod as well. Not going to be able to full clear it, but if Mr. Coughlin can take out that hammer yump, you can get everything but 1 chest. Which is about par for the course in key sanity, if we're being honest.
Yeah, you mentioned that. We do have enough keys across both players to actually full clear everything in Pod. We have 4 small keys. We have the hammer, bow, big key. We have the lamp, to put that stuff into logic for the most part. Certain checks do require more keys to be in logic. Because we were given a bow and a hammer early, that puts the things that require usually 3 keys, if you don't have out of them, that requires 4 keys now. And the things that required 5 keys now require 6 keys. Is because we are able to walk towards Helmasaur and use our small key on that door towards Helmasaur. And that has to be accounted for in the logic for things to be accessible.
Yeah, because key logic in Pod can get fun. And Freddeh going to either have to drop a green goo here, or is going to have to go ahead and use that Storm Beam strap. Oh, it's so pretty. One more. There you go.
Yeah, he got 1 free hit off there with the fire rod, so helped to do the rest with master spins and death.
Yeah, and death.
That was not what he wanted. I can assure you of that. So, yeah, that's a really painful death because that that isolates the cold stare item. That, you know, and you just feel so much worse for, you know, dying to cold stare because it's such a dumb dungeon to have to come back and beat the boss. I would have liked to have seen him use his potion there because he was one hit from death from a cold stare puff. I guess he was a little too confident there and got overconfident.
Yeah, hammer strats are, in my opinion, never something to be confident on, regardless of how good you are at the game. That weapon requires just enough of a wind up that something can really come get you while you're getting ready for a hit. Meanwhile, really nice fight on Mr. Coughlin's side. That is another crystal and another dungeon out of the way.
So that is crystal number 2 for Fred. It's also silly too because Freddeh managed to beat Mothula. It was very close, but he managed to beat him. Cold Stare was just kind of like, hey, I heard you were talking bad about bosses since you were able to beat the hard ones. Well, you ain't seen nothing yet.
To be fair, he did have a red goo for that Moth fight, and Moth does way less damage. I think the story may have been different had he gone over to the pyramid ledge and grabbed that blue mail, but as it is, he didn't make it that far, so it's still working on green.
Freddeh also opting to skip out on going back into Hera for those 2 checks. I'm going to laugh hard if the mirror is just sitting in Hera, and these 2 runners both skipped it.
Yeah, they say you never want to go back on a gamble, but I don't know, it's right there. And yes, for those in chat who are asking, he did, in fact, have a red goo for that fight.
I believe the other pod smalls that Freddeh has were both in Skullwoods, I guess.
Oh, that sounds right.
Either way, Freddeh can actually full clear pod once he does Turtle Rock. So that's actually interesting, because he can clear it way faster than Fred Coughlin will.
Yeah, with those 2 extra keys, it's going to be, much faster clear.
Are you serious, game?
Yeah, so depending on where that other bow is...
Yeah, it's kind of stupid too, because you can go get that basically whenever you have Darkworld access, because you could just do some shenanigans with bottles or holding to get to those checks. Sometimes even hovering will let you, do that. So if you had the balls to go into, swamp pod to get some checks out of the way, you have your ice run, you can full clear Turtle Rock almost in one go. Let's go. Aside from Mimic Cave and the lava chest, but we don't speak of those chests.
Well, we don't speak of them yet. We might be speaking of them in about an hour's time. We'll see how it goes. Speaking of silly things and silly places, hello, Big Geet Ice Palace. Alright, so nice yump there by Coughlin. Getting ready for a Death Warp. Thankfully, it is not any more difficult in Blue Mail here than it is in Green Mail, because things do a full heart regardless. A small key to desert. Okay, well, there's the desert small key.
Yeah, we're just one small key away from all those things in the back of pod being in logic. Goes to that desert small. All these small keys and none of them for Turtle Rock like I've been expecting this entire time.
Also not one for pod, which is kind of weird, as pod normally has a small key for itself in.
We'll see, we haven't... Oh, wait. I was going to say, wait, Fred's already been down here. He's actually doing this so he can go beat Helmosaur, I believe.
Yep, that is correct. Yeah, because we got the ice rod over here.
But there is the bow for Freddeh. He now has the ability to go full clear pod.
Yeah, meanwhile, I believe fcoughlin skipped the... That's the wrong cane. I believe fcoughlin skipped the vanilla big key chest.
Yeah, since he went down the right side twice, he actually skipped both the vanilla big key chest and Harmless Hellway. No. Is that right?
No, because he's only got one small key left, so he's used... Oh, no, you're right. Well, no, because you can check the full thing with full keys.
He checked Harmless Hellway. Never mind. I'm silly.
That makes sense, because all other things equal, you can get back to the vanilla big key chest much faster than you can get back to Harmless Hellway.
Oh. Chat telling us actually that he opened the front door after all, so never mind. I guess he did skip both those chests.
That's interesting. I guess he just did the bow lock side because he didn't have a mirror then and felt like it'd be quicker to not Death Warp. I don't know. Pod logic is weird.
See, I was right. I was right the entire time that he skipped both those chests. I just failed to see how exactly that played out. Be interesting to see what fcoughlin will be leaving behind here in pod, since Freddeh can get every chest in the dungeon as opposed to only 12 of them. I like the little setup there by Fred, waiting for Helmosaur to shoot out the fireballs so he can despawn them with destroying the mask. Smart thinking there to make the fight less annoying.
Yeah, those fireballs can be absolutely irksome as we get a vanilla heart.
That is crystal number 3 for fcoughlin and dungeon number 4.
Yeah, making pretty good progress. 4 dungeons for an all dungeons key sanity within an hour is pretty quick work.
Yeah, it's actually he's got the first 4 dungeons done too, so he's incrementally building up his dungeon count.
Yep, we now just need the mirror to go ahead and take out Swamp.
Logically, I'm trying to think of what we have left exactly. I don't think we have a lot left. We have the Spike Cave check we've not done, the Catfish check I believe as well.
No, Catfish was 5 rupees.
Sorry, yes. Spike Cave? So is it Spike Cave that we're logically missing here?
It could be Spike Cave. It could also
be Mire.
Yes, it could be Mire. I believe we have a big key for Ice Palace on fcoughlin side, so technically it could be Cold Stare or the Big Chest.
That too, yes. So the Ice Big Chest or Cold Stare. Oh no. Okay. Okay, wait.
I don't know, that could still be really bad if that has something.
Oh, good.
Like, it's not required, but that makes it even worse. We also do have the 2 checks in Aga Tower now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that small key off Lumberjack. And also, we did get the Thieves Big... I guess that was an Ice Palace. We got that on Freddie's side. So we can do... That opens up 1 check logically in the back of Thieves Town. Although we could beat the boss and do the attic check. That's typically what Chelsea runners do.
And then we still have the 2 items in Hera and the 2 items in Desert.
Yeah, there we go. See, I just needed the help of someone else to help me remember what the heck we have and haven't done.
I mean, there's not a whole lot that's good that we haven't done. But they're there. There are things there. What do I have left to do? The seed gives you a list. What do I have left to do that isn't terrible?
Homer backing into the bushes.
Pretty much.
So yeah, this seed, it looks to me like, based on how the seed is gone, that you had to either double dip Turtle Rock or double dip Pod. You could not avoid, not double dipping. At least,
I don't know. There still might be a bow in Hera.
Yeah, at least both of these runners could not avoid that situation.
Yeah, and honestly, even if there is a second bow around, it's not likely to be in the way. So the seed, whether or not it required you to double dip, you were probably going to do it either way. As Moth is kind of being a pain in the butt here on this side as well. But as I say that is a bug down. So is that a commentator's blessing? Can I take credit for that?
I'll allow it.
Baller.
Yes. See, now that we have this neat little thing called Quick Swap, you can do cool things like Freddeh just did, and dash through those turtles with the Cane of Burna.
So, go mode. Let's start talking about that. We need a mirror.
I don't think there's a lot to talk about. Oh, goodness, Freddeh. Let's talk about Freddeh for a bit and make sure he doesn't die. Okay, we can stop talking about Freddeh.
Yeah, Burna was the better part of Valor there. But yeah, we do need our hands on a mirror and on a Meyer big key and a GT big key, amusingly enough.
Are we really that close? Are you serious? Wow.
No, I'm not serious. I'm Fred. I've been telling you this.
I didn't want to say it, but you beat me to it.
I had to. It's my job. I make dumb puns.
Either way, we were actually ridiculously close. Of course, we have a lot of stuff opened up to us, so it's not really nice, but I guess it could be comforting knowing that, hey, we're actually pretty close here. Or has time just flown that fast?
I mean, we're an hour and 3 minutes in, so, we're getting there. It honestly completely and totally depends on where these last 3 items are. Like, this could be done in, 35 minutes if things fall nicely. This could also take another hour and a half. So it really just depends. And the other check. Never mind. Open the door. Go in. Stop teasing me. That's not nice.
Freddeh might be a little relieved to see that big key there.
As relieved as he's going to get about dying to Cold Stare. Like, yeah. I wouldn't call it relieved, but I feel like it does lessen the salt ever so slightly. Well, just bombs.
Okay, so the only thing worth note is that Swamp Big Key, and that can only lock either the Meyer Big Key or the GT Big Key in this case.
Or a shovel.
Yeah, but I'm talking about things that matter.
You don't know what that shovel locks.
I mean, if it locks the Meyer Big Key or GT Big Key, then it's behind the Swamp Big. Either way.
As we get the most useful map in the game, hello Hyrule Castle.
Okay, so I'll go and say this now. That small key and lumberjack, I believe that really doesn't help us at all to go get. So I think we can just ignore that lumberjack key for now. I mean, actually, well, I take that back. What if it's the last small key? Never mind. Or the Thieves Town small.
That is fair as well.
Might not be a bad idea to go get, actually. In fact, actually, man, you may as well be dagging him. And if it's a key if it's a Turtle Rock small key or a Thief Town small key, I guess you go ahead and get it. I don't see why not.
I mean, I feel like if it's a Turtle Rock small, at this point, both of the runners are just going to be like, welp, I will deal with that when I go up to clear Turtle Rock. Because they've obviously shown that they're not going to go after those 2 locations in Hera. So I feel like Trinex, the Lava Chest, and should we get the mirror for anything other than go mode, the Mimic Cave check are all going to be just last location at this point.
Well, like, a few things for sure that we know is that we're going to find the mirror and the Meyer Big Key before GT. The only thing that could be in GT at this point now would be the GT Big Key.
And then we'd have a game we like to play, in Keith's Sanity of all things.
Yeah, that'd be the rare case where we actually get to play that game.
And the funny part is we wouldn't even necessarily get to play it because there'd be no guarantee it's in there. Like, you're not going to go check everything else before you go into GT. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, and what could be stupider is if, like you were talking about earlier, the shovel. That could be in GT. The mushroom, that could be in GT.
Or the small key to Thieves Town.
Oh, yeah, that's also a possibility.
That's a fetch quest.
Alright, so far, both runners kind of retracing over each other's footsteps. We will get a new check, well, 2 new checks, really, on Fred Coughlin's side as soon as he makes his way through the dungeon. Interestingly enough, Fred Coughlin still has not been to Myers yet, so he still is sitting on Master Sword.
As Freddeh gets a partial refund.
Yeah, arrow drop on Armos Knights is actually kind of nice, because you just used a whole bunch of arrows just to kill the boss fast. So yeah. I won't say no to that.
Unless you're sitting on silvers, that's at minimum 18 arrows, and that's just kind of silly. And it looks like we are going to get some more new checks here. Because I believe Freddeh is going to make his way over to the right-hand side and check those 2 items, and then go clear land mode, which we already know what that gives. But the 2 checks on the right are going to be new.
Alright, here comes the big chest of Ice Palace. We have not seen this yet. A little bit of nothing. I mean, hard container, I guess you don't say no to, but nothing important.
Ooh. I mean, speaking of things you don't say no to, how about half magic in that desert vanilla big key chest?
Freddeh will take it. And honestly, he feels like the game is maybe holding his hand a bit after that cold stare death.
That's fair. Were you looking for something? Here, I can help.
So Freddeh will be on his way to the Landmo, the Boss of Desert Landmolas, and Fred Coughlin taking the normal way towards the cold stare drop down, getting electrified on the way.
Shocking.
No, just no.
He's ecstatic.
I mean, I could sing the song that I shall not sing, but I hear it's from Greece or something like that, you know?
Oh, I wasn't going there. Come on.
Ah. Or, Electric Boogaloo.
I could make a really dumb electricity joke and say that resistance is futile, but...
I like that.
Oh, so he goes for that one. All right, I see. I just need highbrow puns for you. All right, noted.
Give me those 5-star puns.
What about cold stare puns?
That's more like a wordplay, not really a pun.
Well, how about a land mode death instead?
Yeah, I could go
Nearly
for that.
sync. More like I was gonna say it's a boss sync, but it was really more like a boss high five.
All right, so Fred Coughlin, where are you off to next? Are you gonna go to Thieves Town? What are you thinking? Looks like it.
And Freddeh is going to get. Oh, what was it?
Green pendant turn in?
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what it was.
It was just bombs.
That's right.
One thing that Fred Coughlin can do after Thieves Town is he can actually I don't think he's done hammer pegs yet, and he hasn't done purple chests. I could be wrong, but I don't think he's done either of those checks yet.
I believe that you are correct. Meanwhile, it looks like Freddeh, with that big key and half magic and more than 8 hearts, is going to give Cold Stare another shot.
Yeah, so at this point, we can safely say that Fred Coughlin has a slight lead here. That could change depending on what's in the Swamp Big Chest. If that comes into play. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say that Fred Coughlin, for the time being, has a lead.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult to even say stuff like that in a seed like in All Dungeons Key Sanity, just because something could be in that one check that one runner has access to, the other one doesn't. Or it could be something silly, like something sitting in Aga Tower that's required, and one runner decides to basically last location it, the other one just goes there on a whim.
And honestly, not to mention that, it might have been prudent of Fred Coughlin to just go ahead and kill Aga in case that small key in Lumberjack was the Thieves Town small key.
That's fair. I also feel like that's going to be 3 checks in total, one of them being that small key. So it's one of the bigger amounts of checks you have here. Thieves Town being 3 checks as well right now because we don't have that small key, but without that mirror kind of pointing you in the direction of Swamp, our biggest set of checks is unavailable to us.
Oh, is chat correcting me? Is actually the opposite, where Freddeh is the one that has not done purple chest and hammer pegs. I apologize if that's the case. Need to give out correct information here. I could have swore I saw Freddeh do it.
I thought I did too, but I'm not gonna pretend like I'm confident about that. So this seed has been nuts.
Almonds?
More like cashews, but you know, almonds if you want, I guess.
I mean, almonds are my favorite nut, so can't go wrong with that with me.
That's fair. To each their own.
So here's the blind fight over on Fred Coughlin's side. Meanwhile, Freddeh is refighting Cold Stare, saying, "I want revenge, buddy. You did me dirty last time. Although I could have drank my red potion." Freddeh, I'm sorry if you hate me after this when you rewatch this back.
Sorry, did you say something about a fight? I looked up and there wasn't a fight.
Whoa. I blinked for a second and missed the... Somehow he placed a bomb underneath that pendant. I guess he really was kind of mad about dying. But hey, he's got it done now. It's out of the way.
Hey. How about pedestal?
How about... actually, I don't know. I'm not sure what on Fred's mind here.
But how about ped? Like Fred for ped. Come on now.
He could be heading there now. Like, he's fleeing to 3. I think he is actually going to... He might blind pull it, or he could just bomb it and then... Well, no, wait. I think I think that's how it's gonna go. Is he's gonna blind pull it and he's gonna drop a bomb, whether or not it's good, progression or not.
Right. Speaking of checks that we haven't seen, how about some Spike Cave?
Yes, we have not seen this. Still outstanding for us.
I don't know if it's going to be an outstanding check. We'll see in a moment. I'm holding judgment.
I should be more careful with my choice of words, apparently.
I'm sorry. I would have laughed so hard if that was for Thieves Town.
The preemptive bombs were correct, and some 2 more bombs for good measure, I guess. So that
This
was
man's gonna have to go to Capacity Cave if he wants to keep dropping bombs like this. This is interesting. Are we going to get a completion of TR here? I feel like he's gonna do Hera. Like, you wouldn't come back up here for just that one check at this point, would you? Or do you think Freddeh feels that far behind due to the cold stare death?
Possibly. That's a good point. He could be feeling behind, and he's maybe because he knows that both him and fcoughlin would have had to have left behind the Hera big chest and the Hera basement checks. So he's maybe trying to capitalize on unchecked things.
And that is where we're going. It's kind of interesting that he did this first. I feel like the better idea would have been to do the 2 checks here and then just jump down. But,
I guess Fred had not done a Dark Cross, but he's cleaning up there.
And I thought for a minute that he might choose to go ahead and do AGA, but is doing an S&Q, and then, is going to go do AGA. So we're going to get just a bunch of new checks on both sides here.
Yeah. So we'll get the big chest here in a second on Freddeh's side, and he's probably going to fall down to the bottom afterwards. And then go do the vanilla big key chest. That Moldorm is mean. I hate that Moldorm so much.
I hate that Moldorm the most when it drops something and I don't think about grabbing it, and then it messes up my my Herapod.
Yeah, it only matters though if you're doing it without boots, really, since that affects the bomb trajectory whenever you get blown up. I missed what was in the first check of Act Tower, but I think it was not noteworthy.
A single rupee, and with a compass, and with a compass being there. Really?
What? Fred, what are you doing? You need to beat this anyway.
Huh. Interesting choice.
I'm actually really shocked. I hope he realizes he made a mistake there. There's the... Oh my goodness gracious, dude. What did I say early on?
That is such a stupid location for that. What is it doing there? Alright, so for those of you who really, really like having your commentators to say who's ahead halfway through the game, this is why we don't. Because now who's ahead? I don't know. It depends on where those 2 stupid big keys are sitting. Also, shout outs to my wonderful CoCom who called that like half an hour ago. GG's to you, my friend.
Yeah, and the silly thing is, they could have had that before going into Turtle Rock, and which means they could have had the ability to do Mimic Cave while they were up there the first time through. Immediate small key out of the getting the mirror to Meyer. Not that useful.
And this is an interesting play from fcoughlin, since one of those big keys we need is the Meyer big keys. We're still going to be looking for that. This is not a clearable dungeon. Ooh, hello, Bombos. Just not having it.
Yeah, so Chad is asking yeah, Bombos usage, I guess. He's not confident with his Meyer 2 room there. He can just use a medallion to make it quicker. But the Harris small key was in the first chest of Thieves Town, so they both have it.
Yep, and a bunch more new information here. We're going to get 6 checks on fcougghlin's side and up to 10 checks on Freddeh's side, because I do believe we have that big key. Yes, we do.
Yeah, in fact, he is the one with the big key, because Fred Coughlin does not have that, considering he did not have enough pod keys to full clear pod when he was in there. But we have 10 checks, count them, 10 on Freddeh's side to do in here in Swamp Palace.
You know, the way you said that, I felt the need to go, afterwards.
No, let's not do that.
You just said it really, really emphatically. Like, we have 10 checks. I'm not normally a count kind of person, but you just laid it out there. I felt the need.
Okay, fine. Sorry. Either way. Nothing in the first 2 checks.
Yeah, meanwhile, we're going straight to the cutscene chest for fcoughlin. Hopefully this will be something useful. If not, it's just a waste of half a minute. About 10 arrows.
Oh, man. You know, sometimes I just think to myself, maybe one day, if I, like, decide to skip out on left side Mire and Key Sanity, just because I don't have all 3 small keys, because it's not logic without all 3 small keys, and to have it work out, I just don't ever see that happening, honestly.
Not this version, man. This version loves throwing stuff into Mire. Like, I don't mess around with Mire at all.
Freddeh riding Swamp Palace the way I like to ride it when I am not one item from Go mode, or in Go mode itself.
Clear it.
You start by going to left side first, and then when you're back around to the bottom, you do the compass chest. Hey, look, a sword. Hey, look, a diver down.
Key. I don't know. I was just trying to add something to your commentary.
I appreciate the effort. That's a small key to turtle.
Oh, boy. Well, that will encourage him to get his butt back up the mountain. So...
yeah, he's getting that hook shot ready. He's gonna go get that mirror now.
Why'd you say that? He's gonna go straight into TR just because you said that.
Oh, he better not.
So far, I don't think we've seen anything in Swamp either.
Except that small key to Ganon's Tower. Oh, damn.
You were hoping, man. You were about to ride that one all the way home.
You know, we haven't seen Thieves Small yet. Freddeh has not been done to Thieves Town yet. There was a shot, okay? Just saying.
That is fair. I mean, we still do have 4 checks here in the back, so 5 checks, I think, because I don't think he's done the big key yet. Oh, 6, because he hasn't done this one either. So we're good.
See, and you missed a
alternatively
you don't take, so come on, man. Give me a break.
Alternatively, I could have just looked up at the 4 out of 10 that his wonderful compass provides and given you the information as opposed to just guessing.
That is also true.
And just by the way, fcoughlin went to TR.
That's not good for him.
No, it's very much not.
Eight out of 10 items through Swamp, and we still have not found a single useful thing.
Okay, so is it starting to look like either like Graveyard, Ledge, Checkerboard, Cave, or Trinex?
Or Argus?
That's fair. I meant assuming that there's nothing in Swamp here.
We got this chest, we got Trinex, we got Mimic Cave.
We also have Pyramid Fairy. And yes, Mimic Cave. That's a good call. I'd forgotten about that one.
Yeah, graveyard ledge, checkerboard cave.
Yep.
That small key on Lumberjack could be the Thieves' small key, and then there's something in the big chest of Thieves' Town.
We also have Bombo's tablet, which it would not surprise me to see Freddeh check that right after this.
You know, I'm actually looking at the tracker to see how many small keys we've picked up. And that small key is down to, I believe, 3. It's either an ice small key, a Thieves' small key, or a pot small key.
Huh. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't see anything else that would... Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's correct. That's kind of scary to think about. Now, given the likelihood that it's both a Thieves' Town small and that the Thieves' Town big chest has something is low, but this is all Dungeons Key Sanity where anything can happen. And that's not a big key.
We found absolutely nothing in Swamp Palace, chat.
Yeah, like, not even something that could be remotely resembling useful. As we see Trinex absolutely obliterated here. And that's a compass, so we don't have to worry about that. And it looks like Freddeh is going to make the Thieves' Town play here, if I had to guess. Or maybe it might just go straight to Graveyard Ledge, actually.
Chase that mirror, yeah.
Have we seen a check of Bumper Ledge?
I believe, I want to say Fred maybe checked it after Skull or something like that. I feel like we've seen it at some point.
Okay.
We can't get it, whatever it is, because we still don't have the cape.
Meanwhile, fcoughlin is going to go ahead and grab the GT small key out of Spike Cave, if I remember correctly.
I think so. That sounds right.
To those in chat who are asking, the mirror is sitting in Hera, in the vanilla big key chest, because of course it is. Freddeh decided to double back on his own gamble there, and fcoughlin so far has not. And it looks like we're about to get a big red bomb here from fcoughlin. So 2 more new checks for us.
Yeah, we're still, at a slow trickle, making our way through the rest of this game. I mean, that's left unchecked.
Yeah, basically this game started out as a slow trickle and then went absolutely nuts once we finally found the Moon Pearl, and now has crawled to a trickle again. And the fact that we have not really found much in the way of fetch quests makes me nervous about that trickle. It could go much, much longer.
I get what you're trying to do there fcoughlin. Your health is a little bit low to do it, though, so I'd be a little careful trying to damage boost dash there. If you take damage and immediately input a dash after taking damage, you can dash with the bomb when you normally couldn't. The same thing works if you hookshot something and immediately do a dash after while the bomb is still trying to catch up to you.
Did he just bonk into the Pyramid Fairy?
He sure did.
Well, there's one of them. Oh, are you kidding me? Okay, never mind. I nearly lost my mind. Oh my goodness.
you had a moment there.
I had forgotten that we hadn't seen that big key. I thought one of our runners had it, so I was just like, this can't be anything else.
But that is 7 crystals mode. We can now collect all 7 crystals.
And then we have a game we like to play?
You know, I almost kind of want to wait to see if, you know, after, you know, certain things get checked to really definitively say we'll have a game we can play.
I mean, I got it. I'm just having a field day here with this. Like, we don't ever get to do this for Key Sanity. So we know at this point, if we see a big key, it's the big key for GT.
Freddeh getting a look at the Lumberjack ledge for his first time.
And is going to see that small key and just go, oh no.
Yeah, he might be regretting his Steve's Town play after seeing that. Of course, you know, the only thing left we need is the GT big key. If it's there, then like, wow, you know, this seed's terrible, but the likelihood is a little low.
I don't know. I feel like that's not even the worst place it could be at this point. Like, depending on what's in GT, it could be in a couple of places that I would definitely qualify as worse than that. Like, that might be a bad situation for both of them, but honestly, if it's sitting in, like, Mimic Cave, that's terrible, too.
All right, another new check here on Freddeh's side, getting the graveyard ledge check.
And turn it right back around.
Or so at this point, Freddeh, I believe, only has Turtle Rock left, doesn't he?
So he hasn't done the Pyramid or Catfish, I believe, because he's still sitting on that green mail.
Okay. He's going to go check the pedestal before Turtle Rock. Okay.
I mean, it makes sense.
Sorry,
you have everything required for it.
Wait, I forgot that Turtle Rock was a crystal. Sorry. We already have all the pendants.
Speaking of new checks, say hello to everyone's favorite gelatinous mass.
Hi, gelatinous mass. Be careful there. One eyeball hit will kill you.
And both of our runners blind pulling it, which is somewhat amusing, especially since it has nothing useful. Alright, Vinny, do you have the big key we require? Or a small key? Or a fetch quest? Or $5?
Okay, now Fred is heading back to Turtle Rock.
And this right here is going to show us how terrible this seed is going to be for fcoughlin, because we're going to get a Mimic Cave check. I hope.
Yeah, I don't see Freddeh skipping it, because 2 items from go mode. He won't find it. He won't find what he's looking for.
Yeah, and fcoughlin really gonna put a last locationing on this mirror, checking these 2 items in desert first.
So Fred Coughlin doing a right side desert, going to get his last skull small key and also the half magic pickup. So he'll be, I guess, it's not what he wants to see, but it's what can you do, right? And I'm not sure what he exactly is doing here, considering it's kind of slow to get out of desert this way. But, you know, it works well enough, I guess. But yeah, he's done with desert now.
Yeah, so at this point, I think all he has left is... What is he checking? Has he still not done purple chest? Because I feel like Freddeh was the one that did purple chest, not Coughlin, but maybe I'm...
Skull big chest.
Oh, that's right. We did find that big key. Oh, boy. I had completely forgotten about that.
Yeah, you got all excited about it, too. You're like, oh, man, there's our Go Mode big keys. No, just kidding.
Hey, look, I had like a 50-50 chance of being correct, okay? Don't hold that against me.
Depending on what's here, I may or may not hold it against you. Okay, I won't hold it against you. So now, I think we can say with certainty that all Fred has left is Hera.
There's a game that we like to play, guys! We can do it for key sanity!
Although, even like with the idea that we know that the GT big key has to be GT locked, it may not even be in GT. It could be on the mushroom turn-in or the shovel spot.
Look, that doesn't matter. If that's the case, then whatever fetch quest gives it to us, it's that number. It's fine. Not a big deal.
Yeah, I guess you can make it more interesting that way. Fred Coughlin now looks like he's going to clean up the 2 checks and pod he had to leave behind. He will be very annoyed to see the swamp big key. I can assure you of that.
Oh, yeah. Especially because that's just kind of pouring salt in the wound of, hey, guess where you can't go right now?
He'll be like, oh, a big key I need. No. No. Of course it's
I mean, he won't know that, to be fair.
That's true.
But yes, that's just kind of a pointing you towards the dungeon that you're still missing the item for.
Yeah, a big key that I need, or a big key that I don't want to see. Interesting routing there from Fred Coughlin, doing Promise Hellway into the big key chest. That's kind of nifty. I don't know if it's faster, but he didn't have mirrors, so I guess it makes sense to do
I would say without the mirror, I'm pretty sure it's faster. Alright, so there are 22 locations in GT that could contain the GT big key.
Hold on there for a second. We still don't have 7 crystals on Freddeh's side.
Oh, dang it. Sorry, I jumped my gun.
See, I know you're excited and all, but let's be a little more cautious there.
I don't know. I got a couple of guesses. I feel like people are jumping on that train with me.
That's true. They're excited too. I get it. I understand.
You know, that's just insult to injury right there. Yep, Freddeh is going to go ahead and grab that Meyer Big. And I just realized this big key is going to be just as much of a bait for Freddeh as it was for me.
Yeah, that's a good point. He'll be like, oh man, go mode big keys and Pyramid Fairy. Can't get better than that. And then to be utterly disappointed afterwards.
It's even funnier because it's the right-hand side one, and you normally check left to right. So he's going to see that Meyer one first and be like, ooh! And then he's going to see another one and be like, oh, thanks.
Freddeh setting up that bomb dupe there, being extra cautious and green transitioning a bunch to make sure it doesn't explode. Wow, he's seriously not done the pyramid check at 1 hour, 40 minutes. That's pretty incredible.
And nope. To be fair, absolutely no slashes. He kept it perfectly professional. I'm not sure I would have been able to do the same thing. Oh, actually, this is an interesting check. He's going to go ahead and knock out Aga.
Okay. Yep, and Fred Coughlin expressing his distaste for that mirror location.
I thought for a moment he was going to just go ahead and skip the big chest. That would have been a very interesting call, but decided to go ahead and go through with it.
Gonna be setting up Parapot the old-fashioned way. He gets it.
Yeah, that's how we set it up last time too. I think that's just how he's comfortable with it. All right, so not a save and quit this time. So Freddeh is actually going to go through with this. It'll be interesting to see if he checks the small key on Lumberjack anytime soon. Like, I guess routing-wise, it would make sense to go ahead and grab it. You could S and Q to Sanctuary after mirroring back to the Light World. Don't forget to do that. And then go ahead and grab that key on the way to the Skullwoods Big Chest, and that way if it's Thieves Town Small, you have another option that's right there, I guess.
Do you think Fred Coughlin will skip left side swamp?
That's a good question. I feel like the bigger question is F. Coughlin going to turn around and just go straight into GT after this?
That's pretty likely, gotta say.
Well, because Freddeh might not. He knows that's a small key. He knows it's possible that that small key is the Thieves Town small key. And I don't know if he's super adept at counting keys like we can while just sitting here, but he knows it's, if he does, it's like a 1 in 3. At the very least, you don't have a whole lot of small keys left. So if Freddeh does this and then go ahead and grabs that small key and then goes and gets the big chest of Skull Woods, rather. If F. Coughlin skips left side, I mean, this still could be a really close race. And then again, it's down entirely to that big key. If you find a shovel or a mushroom, given that both of our runners have done interesting things with F. Coughlin last locationing the mirror and Freddeh with his death to Cold Stare, do they take a gamble at some point and just say, hey, it might be here, because I feel like my opponent is probably going to full clear GT before getting out of here. I could get a head start. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. The game meta is crazy.
I'm going to make a prediction here that small key is actually a pod key. And here's why. We got those Castle Tower small keys really early, and the 6th pod key is outside of GT. It is not locked behind 7 crystals. So I think there is a likelihood that small key is just the 6th pod key. We may not have to worry about it at all.
It would have to be at this point, wouldn't it? Or it would have to lead to it.
Yeah.
Because
we're out of checks, aren't we?
Even if it's the Thieves Town Small, that Thieves Town Small only gives us 1 check, which means it would then have to be the pod small.
Yeah, I think that's a correct assessment. Yeah, so that small key is useless.
Okay, so we really do get to play a game. Outside of the potential of it being either the mushroom or the shovel, it's definitely going to be completely contained within GT. Although I guess it doesn't prevent the GT big key from being in the Thieves Town big chest or something equally silly. So that's an option.
That's very true. It could, yeah, it could just be in the Thieves Town big chest anyway. But that would mean that the small key on Lumberjack is the pod small key.
Right, exactly. Either way, we know it can't be the third key you mentioned that we were missing. What was that, Ice Palace?
Yeah.
Which makes sense, that being a pendant, so that's not really a big deal anyways.
So, assuming Fred Coughlin goes to GT here, do you think we should go ahead and start that game up?
Yeah, I feel like he's gonna make a couple of checks. I'm not surprised by him not doing left side swamp, but I feel like you go ahead and take out Bombo's tablet and K45. Like, they're right here.
Yeah.
And you're gonna feel really silly if this was your progression. And we know it's not, but they're right here. I could definitely see him skipping Graveyard Ledge and maybe Checkerboard Cave, though.
He is off.
Alright, so yeah, we do have a game we like to play. There are 22 locations in the basement of GT that could contain the GT Big Key or could lead to the GT Big Key. Guess I gotta throw in that lovely little misnomer. So yeah, go ahead and get your guests in chat, 1 through 22. What check is going to ultimately give us the last big key of this ridiculous seed?
Yeah, and for the sake of sanctity of the GT Big Key guessing game, because this is a key sanity seed, we won't actually run the bot for this, but we'll in spirit play the game.
Speaking of skipping things, it looked like Freddeh is not messing around with the fire-locked side of Mire. I don't know if he's going to go back and do that, but it is 2 locations that he has left behind for now, I believe. Or the cutscene chest, sorry.
I can see him skipping it. I mean, I don't know. He did all those mirror checks for nothing. He's trying to cut corners somewhere now. I'm amazed that mirror basically is only locked the swamp completion.
Yeah, that is interesting. Usually in a situation like that, especially with as early as we got in the Hera, you get something. Like, it would be locking something. But it didn't.
And that is Freddeh's last crystal dungeon. Something to note here, Freddeh has already beaten Agate Tower, so this isn't like you see Fred Coughlin already in GT, but it's actually a bit closer than that.
I think honestly it might depend on whether or not Freddeh turns around here, and he did not. So this is going to be a really close one. And plus, we still have the right side, left side gamble for GT. So all the things that normally come into play here are still coming into play.
Uh-oh, getting dead rock doesn't help.
Hello, Silvers.
Did you find the silvers in my tower? Yes. Yes, we did, Ganon.
Well, there's a shield.
That is check number 6, I believe, so we'll get up to number 7 here in a second.
Yep. And it's interesting that fcoughlin went full left side here. That's not a strat that a lot of runners use nowadays. So it'll be interesting to see if Freddeh does something else. We could get a full clearing of Ganon's tower outside of Tile Room quite a bit quicker between our 2 runners.
Number 7, just another big 20. Gonna see Rando Room here. Next 4 checks, 8 through 11.
And so far, we have not gotten a fetch quest, so at least there hasn't been that torture. Sorry!
You just had to open your mouth.
I did. I want this game to be terrible. I don't have to play it.
Was that number 8 or 9 for the mushroom?
That was number 9, because it was the second chest in Rando.
The top left chest, you mean?
That is correct. It was the second chest that he checked in Rando. My bad.
Alright. Well, we won't be seeing the big chest, thankfully, because it can't lock itself. Although in Key Sanity, if you're still looking for other things, you might see the big chest. So that's number 12. Nice map to the dungeon.
I hadn't even noticed that we hadn't seen that, so... Alright, so with Freddeh checking Hope Room and then going full left, we're not going to see anything from him that fcoughlin isn't going to be seeing first, so...
Looks that way. Small key to Thieves.
Hey, Red Bell!
Alright, so number 13 is the Thieves' small key.
I am writing all this down just so we can keep track of it.
Number 14 and 15 being well, I believe it was like a big 20 and then a heart piece right there. That's the wrong cane, Fred. There you go.
Isn't that the second time he's done that?
I think so. Oh, he's doing tile room now.
I don't even blame him at this point. Like, that's the way the seed's going.
So this will be number 18. Even catching the fairies.
He has room for another one, but decided to just eat it instead. Okay, so we have 4 checks left in GT.
19 through 22 upcoming.
And then we have a potential for 9 and 13. And maybe something else based upon a potential for shovel here, I suppose.
Yeah. We did get all 4 GT small keys, so it is possible that, you know, the big keys could be here, because this requires 4 small keys normally. There it is. Number 19 is the GT big key.
That was terrible. Like, that thing just ran all around.
So if you go down right side first, you're golden. Neither runner did that, though, so...
And shoutouts to the first person who guessed 18. You are the closest.
Rational order. Shoutouts to my wonderful Kokob, who also guessed 18, just a little slower on it.
I tried, okay.
Funny part is you're only like 4 guesses after.
So, like, you were probably within 2 seconds.
Yeah, fair point. Alright, so Freddeh killing the Ice Armos, getting his useless Steve Small, getting his first mail upgrade, just because, yeah, didn't he...
Oh, no!
Oh, okay, well, oh my goodness.
Crap!
Freddeh, what in the world were you thinking?
I almost lost my ever-living mind. I mean, there's a such thing as feeling behind, but holy cow, if he had done that for the mushroom and Thieves Town big.
Okay, so he's skipping tile room, so he's gonna gain a lot of time back. I think this is Freddie's game to lose. Like, I think it's...
I don't know that I would call it by that much, but I would say Freddeh has the advantage.
It'll take 3 minutes plus to go finish off Aga Tower for fcoughlin.
Sure, but on the flip side, fcoughlin right now is basically done with the gauntlet.
Freddeh quick swapping for his life there, trying to get to the mirror.
That's a mood, especially towards the end of the game when you have so much in your menu. You're like, let's go this way, and then you realize, like, through 15 swaps that it would have just been faster to go the other way. Or does that just happen to me? I mean...
Yeah, and so this goes back to, you know, what we were seeing earlier from Fred Coughlin. He did not finish Agate Tower when he went in there, which I think was a pretty big mistake. I mean, it's not a, maybe not a big mistake, but it was a mistake.
Yeah, that was one of those mistakes that wasn't just like a gamble, like the mirror in Hera that ended up kind of biting both our owners in the butt, but F. Coughlin so much more than Freddeh. That was a situation where both of us, as soon as he saved and quit, were like, wait, why did you do that? That didn't make any sense.
Yeah, we left both of us scratching our heads for sure.
So I do wonder if that was like an intentional thing where he had a reason for not doing it, or if it was just one of those situations where he just saved and quit and then immediately after went, oh, I should not have done that.
Right. All right, so Fred Coughlin taking down Moldorm 2 there, saying no thank you. In Fred Coughlin's language, 2 bombs means no thank you.
And once again, we get a bit of a high five for boss fights there.
Oh, missing. I feel like he could have gotten 2 shots off there. He didn't miss entirely. Okay, he got a double there, so that's 3.
This pattern's not bad if we don't get a blue ball. Nice double there.
Yeah, he made something out of nothing there.
And a 4 cycle, not a bad fight, all things told. Wasn't the most friendly set of patterns, so.
Nice bonk timing to be picked up by the bird while in mid-bonk animation. The swag.
Yep, F. Coughlin's showing that he knows how to fly a little bit too.
Freddeh misfiring that bomb there against the wall.
I feel like that bomb placement, although not difficult at all, is really streaky. Like, you can get it 100 times in a row, and then all of a sudden you just miss it 5 times straight, and you have no idea why. Alrighty, so it is time for Freddeh to attempt to conquer Agonometry here. Meanwhile, F. Coughlin is just tearing through Agate Tower. Freddeh is going to have the lead, but between a quick Agate Tower here and the fact that Aga 1 only has 1 blue ball, I believe, it's not going to be too much of a lead. So, nice double there.
Yeah, Fred Coughlin did not get a double there. So far, Freddeh looking to do a 3 cycle.
Yeah, that only matters if he can pull off the double here. Nicely done.
So, assuming nothing goes wrong here, Freddeh should have this one.
Yep, and now we've come to the best part of the seed. We get to see what snarky, smart aleck comment our favorite piggy has for us today. Instead, he completely and totally flops and just goes for generic evil minion comment number 4765. I'm disappointed. Did he get 6 slashes off there?
Okay. Yes, he did.
I'd only counted 5 for some reason, so I was like, Freddeh?
Whatever, man.
Right. Is phase 3 moving pretty quickly? I say that, and we've already seen 3 teleports.
That's
Or-
on you, buddy. I'm blaming this one on you.
Okay. It didn't go further than that, though.
So the harem mirror is your fault. These teleports are your fault. What else can I blame on you during the interview?
Gloves in desert, maybe?
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
His one true weakness.
Bacon?
Ready! Oh my goodness!
Oh my goodness. I swear there was a moment of don't look down, don't look down. If he had fallen, this would have been like a neck and neck race. Oh my goodness.
Interestingly
All
enough,
right,
though,
so what?
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. Get your GGs in chat for Freddeh first and foremost. But interestingly enough, though, I think it would actually be neck and neck because Freddeh could just save and quit had he fallen again in there.
Oh, that's fair. I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah. Good night, though. That gave both of us a heart attack. Good gracious.
Yeah, so Freddeh finishing in first place with an official race time.gg time of 2 hours and 46 seconds. I believe we are joined in the booth by Freddeh. We're going to let fcoughlin go ahead and knock out this Ganon fight real quick.
And there's one silver arrow for fcoughlin. Does not bother with torch glitch. It's not gonna matter with silvers. That's number 3.
Now, a lot of times it's easier to set him up without the torch glitch, honestly. Wow, and getting 3 silvers off of one shot there, that's really quickly done. All right,
Get your GGs in chat for fcoughlin, everyone.
and there you go. fcoughlin finishing in second place with an official race time.gg time of 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 20 seconds. That was a close race.
Okay, now you can talk, Freddeh.
I'll wait for Fred until Fred gets in here.
That's fair.
There he is.
Howdy, howdy.
Well played, sir.
Well, you too, I guess. We were talking about it quite a bit in the race chat afterwards. Sounds like we both pretty much played like we were behind, and I did it slightly less.
You were slightly less behind.
Pretty much.
So,
Man.
how about those gloves? Let's just start out early. Let's ease you into this.
I
2
mean, the
gloves
were
in
fine.
desert. I know, but it was still ridiculous.
I was expecting glove. I mean, I was expecting something to be in desert. Like, give me that book and that desert big key. I'm like, okay, something's probably in the big chest or something. Then I saw the one on the ledge. I'm like, oh, maybe it's just the legend after all, and the big key is just a thing. And I got the other one out of the big chest. I'm like, oh, okay. So now I just need a moon pearl. Proceeds to clear everything. I thought about doing Zora earlier, like before Eastern or the mountain, but like that's so hard to do without a moon pearl, because then you're like leaving
The abandoned waterfall and everything.
waterfall. Yeah. And to be fair, I probably shouldn't put that off because it's not really that much longer of a trip to just especially once you have flute.
Yeah, when we have
Right.
we had flute, so you can actually get back there at any time. That's kind of what I was doing. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I can get back there anytime I want to, so I can wait on it because if I get the moon pearl
Yeah.
or flippers,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This seed though, I'm not gonna lie, this seed was based like a double key sanity, because usually in key sanity, like it opens up pretty quickly, and then you have like that trickle that happens at the end while you're just looking for one item and you keep having to jump through hoops to get through there. But you guys got the trickle at the beginning for the moon pearl, and then a really fun one at the end for, believe it or not, the GT big key. So I do
Go right first. So I'm gonna go full left. Gain some time.
I do have to make a full-on confession. I was completely and totally baited by the Skullwoods big key in Pyramid Fairy. Did it get either of you?
No, at that point I knew there were too many other ones left, and I was still just looking. For me, actually, I was still looking for I think another big key or two, or like there was like 2 other items I needed. So for me, it was just like, okay, that's Tuesday. You know, it's just a regular thing.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
See, at that point, the two items that we needed to see were the Meyer Big and the GT Big.
Yeah.
And the only other big key that we hadn't seen at that point was obviously the Skull Woods Big. So when you pulled the Meyer Big, I was like, oh, there's one of them. And then you open the chest and there was another one. And I was like, are you kidding me? And then I saw the text for Skull Woods and I was like, no, you're not kidding me.
Sounds like exactly my thoughts when I was opening those. I'm like, are they both going to be here, really? And then I saw the Skull. Oh, okay, it's just Skullwoods. They better not be in the Skullwoods big chest. That would be silly.
I believe in the words of Darth Helmet. Fooled you.
That is basically what happened. I got baited really, really hard. Speaking of baited, I'm happy that neither of you went into like just noped out and went to go check the Thieves Town big chest or the mushroom for that matter, because you guys had been playing like you were feeling behind. Which
I
one of us?
did. I almost did.
You had us both
I was contemplating it.
I habitually held down after the mirror and left GT. I'm like, wait a second, no, I gotta do right side.
Sorry, Relkin, you said Freddie, and 3 of us said what? So you're gonna have to be a little more specific.
Freddeh.
There you go. Because you said Freddie, and I was like, what? Speaking of, Mr. Coughlin, you had a mirror or you had a save and quit that you did after grabbing both chests out of Aga Tower. Was that intentional, or were you just like, oh, I should have cleared that?
No, I decided to do it. I was looking at things. Knowing me, I still had a bunch of stuff left. I don't remember exactly what was on my list, but I had at least 4 or 5 items left on my queue at that point. If I finished it and I got the mirror early, every single save quit was going to take me to the pyramid because I never remember to mirror before I save quit. So that was an intentional, let me get the refill at the end. I think I was at Master Sword. I could have done it because I did have Fire Rod and stuff, but I was just like, let me just get the refill at the end. Let me get out of here now. The small key, the only thing it could have been that would have hurt me was Thieves Town small. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to leave that one on the table here. I was definitely feeling quite a bit behind at that point. So, you know, as we both were regularly throughout the whole process.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that makes sense. It's not something that I had really thought of, but that makes sense. I do that a lot too. If I have the mirror and I've beaten Aga, I will literally just SMQ. Why didn't it give me oh, I'm on the pyramid. Mirror.
Yeah. I'm kind of used to that, so I don't really try to take that too much into account. And with mirror coming.
Just sink and quit.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah.
I
didn't think about that either, so I guess that makes sense.
And there was things I was definitely worried about by that point. Cause I hadn't checked things like I had the possibility of doing Castle for a long time, and I didn't check the lumberjack until after I found the mirror. So I was definitely worried about little things like that. And then I saw the key on there. I'm like, that could be like the Thieves Town key or the other Turtle Rock key. I'm sure it's nothing. I guess it ended up being what?
Pod key.
The last pod key? Yeah.
Had to be pod key because we had already done every check in the game up to that point.
Yeah, there's like only an Ice Palace key outstanding at that point, and that's not really required. So.
Yeah, between the two of you, you literally cleared everything outside of the Thieves Town big chest, the shovel spot, which we never found the shovel, the mushroom, and the 4 chests up on top of GT and the big chest. Like literally everything else you guys cleared because it's all
we
done.
Still managed to not get. Yeah, we still managed to not get shovel, ether, or cape.
Yeah, that's crazy. As I was sitting there doing the tile room, I'm like, oh gosh, I actually have to dodge stuff. This isn't just an autopilot, take a drink whole day.
Yeah.
I use the doorway if I don't have Kate.
Oh, you did the tile room?
Oh yeah, yes. That was actually something that that did cost Fred Coughlin a minute there, or a little less than a minute to
Wait.
do the tile room.
Did I win because I skipped both big key chest of Meyer and the tile room, basically?
No.
There was that. We were more chalking it up to the S and Q out of Aga Tower, but you could more or less put it up to about that too.
Honestly, I don't think that's worth as much time as those two things.
Tile room's
It's definitely
45
not more time
seconds.
than-
Yeah, tile room's 45 seconds-ish, so with the fact that you had a minute and a half, at least the one by itself, I think the other two, it would have been close. I think you still probably would have had me.
Yeah, that's fair.
If I'd gone straight right side, on the other hand.
Right? Did you do... You said you did the big key chest of Meyer as well, right?
Yeah, I did that. I don't remember what it was, but it
Okay.
was meaningless.
Yeah.
Whatever
yeah.
it ended up being.
See, 2 less checks. That's all it took. But yeah, that's kind of crazy that we both did full left side there. Like, who actually does full left side in GT in a GT sanity?
I was super surprised you guys did that. I was like, okay, because F. Coughlin was the first one into GT actually.
Yeah.
Because you checked pretty much everything else, and then you did Aga first.
Right.
So he was the first one in. I'm like, oh, he went all left. That's kind of interesting. And then you did too, and I was like, okay. And then you did full left all the way to friggin' Ice Armos, and then like walked out, and I was like, no. Is he really going to, like, there's feeling behind, but are you? And then you walked back in, and I was like, okay, never mind.
I have a feeling this is going to be a lot more fun one to watch back than it was.
Oh, absolutely.
Between the chain to the moon pearl and that ending.
That chain to moon pearl was dumb.
It was pretty funny. I'm like, oh, of course
it.
it's just on Zora. Makes sense, I guess. The boots off there, like, the boots? Okay, what's in King's Tomb or Bonk Rocks? Hook shot. Okay, what's in Hera?
Nothing.
Powder. Well, nothing.
Oh, right, powder. That's right.
Yeah.
I was in Paradox, though.
The funny thing was, I was thinking about Pyramid Fairy since literally, like, when I got access to Hera and saw it was a 5/6 crystal, I'm like, well, let's do that. And then I checked the bomb merchant for Turtle Rock. I'm like, oh no, this is not good.
How about that Dark World check that gave you, like, the only 2 dungeons you had maps for, and they were both pendants? I was like, wow, that's convenient.
It made me feel bad for not checking Sahasra when I was there, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
you
And
know-
then that ended up being Desert, which you decided not to clear early.
Which, yeah, I ended up clearing after doing Eastern, which, you know, that's a good 10 seconds there. Not a ton of time with flute and stuff, but still some.
That was another difference. F. Coughlin went ahead and just knocked out Desert the first go round. So he was able to pull that green pendant, which was bombs, I think.
Yeah, it was bombs. It wasn't anything exciting, unfortunately, but...
I mean, with the way you were dropping those bombs, you needed a couple, so don't even act like you're unthankful for that.
I don't know what you're talking about. There is no evidence of anything like this.
All right, let's get some clips. I'm sure someone has a clip of him dropping like 4 bombs on the pedestal.
Oh, Fred, did you blind pull pedestal too?
Oh, yeah.
I
I
had-
considered pulling the book out, and instead I just decided to set off some fireworks while I let off the pedestal.
He dropped 2
Yeah.
bombs on it, went around, pulled
I
it, and then
know.
dropped 2 more.
I was thinking of dropping bombs on the way out too. I should have. Dang it.
I'm the bomb squad. I have to do this.
That's a fair point. You're contractually obligated, I'm sure.
I honestly thought you were going to go full ham on it and just take a stop in the Capacity Cave with all the money they gave you. Just get yourself up to like 40 or 50 bombs and then just drop one every check.
Money problems? What money problems?
And it was
Yeah,
really
we're
funny
looking at
because we
one
were
saying 2,000 rupees. What?
we were talking about that too, especially early, like because F. Coughlin, you did Houlihan, and we were like, yeah, it's a really good play because money is a lot more scarce, especially early game in this key sanity seeds. And you like 15 minutes in, you got 2 hordes already, and you're sitting on 900 rupees. We're like, well, never mind, I shouldn't open my mouth.
You never know when Zora might be required. Oh, it was. Good thing you... Oh, wait, you also had like 300.
Exactly.
Like I did Zora before going to Dark World, and I still had like 300, 400 rupees. And I didn't Houlihan. Like,
you would be forgiven for thinking that the seed took rupee logic into consideration after watching the seed.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I felt like the play into Hyrule Castle early worked out for me fairly well because it looked like there was basically no source of bombs outside of buying them, or maybe even money. And I forget if there was any 300s actually in CAC, but I assume you had to end up buying bombs, right?
Yeah, I hula hand specifically to be able to do that. So
right. Yeah.
I got that, and yeah, there wasn't really any. I mean, the only bombs I remember seeing were in, I think, Cuckoo Hut, maybe in the back of the well, but they were all bomb blocked.
Yeah. And you did, did you do just South Route after Houlihan then?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's not a bad start. I've been kind of liking the Uncle Start and AD keys. There's just too many useful things that could be there compared to non-Insanity seeds.
It's a really good one. You know, sometimes it works out going my way. Sometimes it fails miserably, and you get a fire rod and you go crazy.
It's the light world. It's a crapshoot anyway.
Exactly.
Speaking of a crapshoot, you had a red goo, Freddeh. Please.
Don't remind me.
Please!
I thought I had half of a heart more than I actually had.
Was that it?
Also, I thought that hammer hit was going to hit, and it didn't. I got bodied by Cold Stare, trying to do hammer Cold Stare.
Because, so Freddeh didn't check the pyramid until he dropped off the big red bomb. And then even then, he looked at the blue mail and went... So
it's too late for that.
So this silly person here was doing green mail Cold Stare on 8 hearts. Not a big deal, except he got hit by 2. And then you got hit by 2 ice cubes, which brought you down to 4 hearts. And both Relkin, who by the way is an honorary Fred for this seed, because I mean he had
fair enough.
We're both sitting there like, you got a red goo, and then Cold Stare's like, you got to restart to the entrance, and we were like,
I was gonna feel real bad if something was there, but it wasn't in logic for the longest time, so I didn't really worry about it. And then I got the big key. I'm like, okay, well, if something in the big chest, I got bailed out. So, because otherwise, I wasn't ever going back for the big chest. Like, I don't know if I would have done that before Hera Basement, but it would have been close.
I feel like this seed definitely tested your I'm not going back for that.
Or even was that Hera small key? Like, I don't remember getting it. Like, it was pretty early in Dark World, wasn't it?
First Stone.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and then the big key was also in Village of Outcasts, I think, or was that in Skullwoods? It was around there, I want to say. Oh no, it may have been Hype Cave.
No.
Either way, it was early. It was early.
Yeah, I want to say Hype Cave sounds right. Yeah.
Hype Cave sounds right.
I think I was thinking of doing that then too, and I was thinking of doing Turtle Rock, but I'm like, I'm gonna check most things for Ice Rod first. Except then I had to make the choice of, okay, I can do Ice Palace without the big key. I can do Pod and East, or I guess Pod at this point, without the bow, or I can do Turtle Rock without the Ice Rod, and also Dark Death Mountain and stuff. It's which one do you do? Turns out the answer was Pod, but of course it is. It's always Pod.
That Ice Rod bow locked was hilarious because you guys had both chosen to do Turtle Rock. Because I mean, there's almost always something. There's almost always something in Turtle Rock, so I don't blame the call on either side. But then, there was a bow there, and we're like, ooh, that was a good grab. And then, of course, you guys come over and do the bow lock side, and there's an Ice Rod. We were like, oh, never mind.
Hey, technically, we did the seed as intended, okay? We there's no cheating here. None whatsoever. Yes,
I'll just ignore the 2 hammer yumps that I saw.
Don't worry about it. Don't need. There's only 5 pod keys. There's not a 6th pod key.
Clay, there's no door over there. There's a ramp. There's a rail. You just can't. It's kind of hard to see.
It's kind of hard to see. I'll have to double check that ROM real quick. What is this ramp you speak of?
Doesn't exist. It's all lies. There was like nothing in pod outside of that ice pod too, wasn't there?
Speaking about nothing, how about Swamp that had absolutely jacked?
Oh, yeah, don't remind me of that too. I'm like, I hope this isn't a go-modable Swamp, because
we just did remind you of it.
I mean, yes, but like, you have to go back to Turtle Rock at that point. Yeah, I'm pretty sure whoever dives pod first wins that seed, like, easily, handily. It's like a 10-minute time save.
I mean, maybe, but then you're probably just about full clearing pod. So, I mean, like, obviously the smart thing to do would be to go ahead, grab that ice rod, nope straight out, and go ahead full clear Turtle Rock. But that's probably not going to happen.
This would have been a fun spoiler. This would have been a really fun spoiler seed.
Yeah, you're right, actually, it would have been.
Should we run it back and winner take all on spoiler?
Winner take all spoiler? I'll have to get back to you on that. I need to practice some doors.
Yeah, this seed would have been much more fun. Yeah, this seed sounds much more fun as a spoiler log seed. Maybe what you could do is just take the seed and go down and write out the spoiler log, right? And then play it again next year at this exact time. Give you a year to completely forget the seed. You're still running it relatively blind, and just see how it works.
To be fair, most of these seeds would be better as a spoiler run, so that doesn't really mean much.
Especially for all Dungeons Key Sanity.
See, Shaky Force knows.
Well, any other final thoughts from either of the two runners here before we finish off?
Race there, Fred. I'm glad we were able to give everyone a fun watch there, and hopefully we'll see some more fun next week. Again, thank you to Fred and Honorary Fred for doing the commentary on the seed, and Honorary Fred doing the tracking, and the Honorary Freds at SpeedGaming for putting on the restream.
Yeah, I'd like to echo my Fred's sentiments. Thank you, Fred. Thank you, Honorary Fred, and also Honorary Freds. It was a Fred-tastic good time, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the week.
Yeah, let's milk that joke dry, shall we?
I'm Freddie when you are.
I'm just trying to be nice.
All right, well, GG's to you both. Thank you so much for the good race. And Hammer Bro, you want to close us out?
Yeah, I can go ahead and do that. First off, give these runners a follow. I know they're not going to say it for themselves, but these guys are both awesome at the game, and they got thrown through a ringer with this All Dungeons Key Sanity seed. So, yeah, give them a follow. They both definitely deserve it. Also, if you have not gotten your fill of Rando for the night, we have one more seed starting out in about half an hour here, a little bit longer than that, about 35 minutes on SpeedGaming 3. That's going to be Pika Pales versus Demo. That's another really good race, so definitely tune in if you want some more Rando. That is about all I got. So for the two Freds who raced, and for myself, Freddie, good night to all of you, and I will leave the last words to you, Mr. Honorary Fred.
All right, thank you so much, Hammer. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and see you next Rando race.